For this morning, I'm going to pretend that I'm still in Hawaii, but then do you blame me? And this will be the last show that will be this late. Starting Monday, we'll probably get the show back to earlier in the morning, although it might be a little later than we've been doing it in the past. The numbers seem to be a little bit better if I start a little bit later. So we'll see how that all works out next week, but it will be earlier than this. Okay, I made multiple posts over yesterday prior to Bill Ackman posting what he posted, but I said it. I said exactly what Bill Ackman said. He just said it so much pithier. He says, "I support real Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and they should make peace for the benefit of our great country. We are much stronger together than apart." My reading on that, the way that I said it, was we are much stronger having these two gentlemen being together than apart, having these two amazing guys working together. It's really, really important. And sure, when you get those kind of powerful people trying to be aligned at all times, there's going to be days. There's going to be days when it's not going to be great. Anyway, Elon Musk responded to Bill Ackman. He says, "You know what? You aren't wrong." But this morning, we are hearing that Elon is reaching out, trying to set up a meeting, maybe, or at least offering to maybe have a meeting. But POTUS is still in the lesson teaching mode. I think that's what's going on at this point. Needs to be a little cool and reserved and removed to let Elon know that this is just not going to be okay behavior, and that if they're going to get along, the president of the United States is, I mean, let's face it, is the top dude just by virtue of his position. So Elon does need to make sure he's always taking second share. As noted by many, many others, Trump has no trouble finding ways to get past old relationship issues. I mean, for instance, J.D. Vance called Trump a Nazi. So I think if you could get over J.D. Vance, some of the other things that J.D. Vance said last year, I think he can get past this with Elon Musk. In general, I would say that after I have been chronicling Musk's life over what's been now 6 years, 2 books, 2,500 videos, and countless X posts, this much is super clear to me. Elon Musk is weird. So is Trump. They're incredible. I mean, they're just unbelievable. I talked about this in my 4-part series, not last weekend, but 2 weekends ago. I put together this 4-part series where I talked about these two guys, the incredible impact that they could have on our nation, on the world, if they just hang in there together and work together. They are the perfect solution for this particular time in history. And I have great hopes that they will work together to optimize this potential. Over the weekend, I will do what would be impossible to do in this morning show. I just can't take the time. I'm going to cover every aspect of this conflict and the ramifications. This is going to be an incredible weekend for this channel. We've got the regular Kathy Woods show coming tomorrow with Larry Goldberg. That's always one of our top-rated shows. So everybody always loves that show. I love that show. Larry loves that show. It's just really, really, really a good podcast. Tonight, I'll be watching, of course, as always, the All In podcast. I'll be using that as part of my reporting over the weekend. But what I'm really, trying to do this weekend is really look at every nuance, every aspect of what has taken place and what it'll look like going forward. And then, but for now, we got to just get back to the news of what's happening today. So just breaking is that the Congressional Budget Office agrees with moi and with Trump and with Bessent that the tariffs will reduce the deficit by $2.8 trillion over 10 years. And that's at least, that's what it said in the report. Okay. So the CBO, which is a Democrat establishment, they're always leaning Dem. They have way more, they have apparently maybe 100% or close to 100% registered Democrats. But the CBO has come out and recognized and stated, okay, yeah, we're going to have 2.8 trillion from tariffs at least over the next 10 years. Well, you take that, as I've been reporting for days, if you put in any amount of additional GDP from 1.7, which is the CBO's, what they're scoring based on, 1.7 average per year. Do you know how much that changes if even the first quarter is higher? And then if the second quarter is higher, and then that just pushes all the numbers into the future higher, it's a huge difference. And right now, every evidence is that we're going to be at around 3.0, if not this quarter, certainly the fourth quarter and into the new year, and maybe a lot higher than 3.0. So if you take 3.0 instead of 1.7, that dramatically increases the amount of income that will be coming to the federal government. Well, if you've got $3 trillion or $250 billion a year coming in from tariffs, and you have maybe another similar amount, call it 250 billion extra coming in revenues from tax returns. That's 500. That's a $500 billion a year. Now you take the cuts. The CBO agreed the other day that the cuts really are 1.5 trillion. That's the real way to score it, the right way to score it. It's what I said, almost exactly on the nose what I said. So there's 1.5, that's another 150 billion a year. We're starting to get, and that all of that is going to impact what we pay in interest rates. And it's going to impact the interest rate, and it's going to impact the total interest payment because the deficit won't be going up as fast. So this is dynamic, and the CBO is not inclined to do dynamic scoring. But if they do dynamic scoring, this is what they would turn out, that this deficit's going to be going, the deficit amount is going to be going down. As a percentage of GDP, it's going to be going down. And Besant's plan to get it to his 3-3-3 with his three-legged stool is going to be a reality. Okay, then we have Gene Munster agreeing with my take that I had all day yesterday on Elon Musk and Trump. Here's what Gene Munster said this morning. And people argued with me all day yesterday, but this is what I said, and this is Gene Munster's practically almost like he lifted it right off of my comments. And I'll be talking again about all this during the weekend. As Tesla CEO Elon Musk and President Donald Trump exchanged public jabs, the EV maker's stock tumbled more than 14%. But Gene Munster, managing partner at Deepwater Asset Management, said the move was an overreaction. Tesla's stock was bouncing back about 5% pre-market trading on Friday. Munster said that Tesla's lofty valuation is tied to investor bets on the company future in self-driving vehicles, and he doesn't think the spat puts the robotaxi effort in jeopardy. It's exactly what I said. Ultimately, he says, I think that the president wants to do what's right for the country, despite, I think, all the personalities between the two and wanting to get kind of a one-upmanship. He said, Munster argued that it's more important for the country to support Tesla in the artificial intelligence arms race with China. Of course it is. He says, I'm fast forwarding 1 to 5 years from now, and in Europe and in the rest of the world, it would be a little bit odd, I think, for this personality blow up to really slow down the pace of innovation. And so ultimately, I think what is best for the country is autonomy to move forward. And I think that means that this feud needs to go away. All right. And also the Tesla stock should not be affected long term. And when he says long term, what I think is 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be back to normal. Now, if we have the release of the vehicle, the release of robotaxi on the 12th, as Reuters believes it's going to be, or the 13th, or the 15th, or whatever, we have the release sometime this month, and we begin to see some numbers, that's going to just completely change everything. And then, of course, we've got the Model Q, which is supposed to be announced or revealed this month as well. So let's see what happens with all of that. No, according to many people asking me over the weekend, does it change my numbers? It might make it. Hey, listen, I'd be ridiculous. I wouldn't want to insult you by saying it doesn't make it more difficult to get to all-time high by the end of this month or by 2 weeks after the release of robotaxi. I'd be kidding you if I didn't say it makes it more difficult to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. No, my numbers are still my numbers. And remember the old idea of the voting machine? Well, right now people are voting on Tesla. They're voting on Tesla based on emotion, not on the facts of the company, not on the fundamentals of the valuation of the company. This is all emotion, 100% emotion, 100%. Okay. Now, some of that run up last year, that was emotion also. So, or early, last year and then into this year, the run up was emotion based. This sell off is emotion based. When cooler heads prevail, we will start moving back up towards all time high this year, probably this month or early July. What do I know? I'm giving you the reasons why I feel the way I feel. The reasons I feel the way I feel is because I think that Tesla right now is worth $3,000 a share by any conservative estimate based on the future of robotaxi and Optimus. And that's not based on the value 5 years from now. 5 years from now, it'll be a lot higher than that. That is based on present value, given the discounted rate to now. Anyway, this is Randy Kirk. As I've already mentioned, the weekend's going to be chock full of stuff that you're going to want to watch. Tonight, we'll have Larry Goldberg, his regular Friday night, probably early, around 4-ish, 4:30. And then at 7:45, you'll have Stern Basher with part 3. Maybe it'll be tomorrow morning. I haven't decided. I might have something else for you tonight, Stern Basher tomorrow morning, but something like that. All right. Please join, what do you call it? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit notify, all that stuff, and then potentially join Patreon. If it's, according to Trump says this morning, if the too late at the Fed, if the Fed calling them too late would cut, we would greatly reduce interest rates, long and short, on debt that is coming due. Biden went mostly short term in terms of putting the money into the debt. They sold more short term bonds than long term bonds. There is virtually no inflation anymore, but if it should come back, raise the rate then. Very simple. He, meaning Chair Powell, is costing our country a fortune. Borrowing costs should be much lower. Well, I echo Trump's thinking here. Inflation seems to be in good shape. The economy's in good shape and jobs are doing fine. The best part of the jobs report is the employee compensation continued upward, even if by a little bit more than the Fed would like. But that increase in the average Joe's paycheck is part of the promise of Trump to restore the middle class. We've seen it month after month already in this administration, and a complete turnaround from what was happening the entire 4 years of the Biden administration. Also in the job numbers was another big drop in government jobs, but the private sector is managing to make up for it. Now, this was something that was a surprise to me because I thought that the government job cuts would hit harder earlier. So I thought by now we would be seeing, tens of thousands, maybe 50,000, 60,000 jobs coming out of the federal government and showing up in these unemployment numbers, but they haven't. It's been like 10,000, 5,000, 6,000. It's been much lower than my expectations, and I thought that might get us into a recession. Well, Bessent squared that around for me a couple of months ago in some of those interviews he did, where he said, look, we can't take the numbers down. We can't take the government spending down that fast, or we'll get a recession. Well, that's what I predicted. So, but I was wrong to think that that's what was going to happen. And so what happening is that we're slowly but surely reducing the size of government. That is going to show up in the deficits. That's going to show making the deficit smaller. And that is going to show up eventually with interest rates coming down, although they're certainly not down today. Okay, here are the job numbers. Total non-farm payroll employment increased by 139,000 in May, and the unemployment rate was unchanged at 4.2. So the 139,000 was more than expected. And employment continued to trend up in healthcare, leisure, hospitality, social assistance, and the federal government continued to lose jobs. The number of people jobless less than 5 weeks increased by 264,000, about 10%. To 2.5 million. The number of long-term unemployed, those jobless for 27 weeks or more, decreased over the month by 218,000 to 1.5 million. This is a big number. Nobody's reporting this. This is phenomenal. You got 218 out of 1.5 million coming off the long-term unemployment rolls. That's huge. The long-term unemployed accounted for 20.4% of all unemployed people. In May, the unemployment population ratio declined by 0.3%. So people are, there's not more people coming into the workforce. There are more people going out of the workforce. The labor force participation rate decreased by 0.2 percentage points to 62.4. The number of people employed part-time changed little. And so that's not much of a change there. In May, the number of people not in the labor force who currently want a job was about 6 million, and it was little changed. Average hourly earnings for all employees on private non-farm payrolls rose by 15 cents or 0.4%, like a 5% annualized. Over the past 12 months, the average is only 3.9%. In May, average hourly earnings of private sector production and non-supervisory employees rose by 12 cents or 0.4%, same amount. But a bit troubling in the job numbers is this one. The change in total non-farm payroll employment for March was revised down by 65,000. That was from 2 months ago. And the change for April was revised down by 30,000. So that's 95,000. So our 133,000 up this month is got 95 or 147. Anyway, so that number though kind of reduces or cuts into some of the reporting, but the unemployment rate remained at 4.1. One of the things we have to take into consideration is that we've got immigration, no immigration coming in, and lots of immigrants going home. And that's impacting these numbers because you have fewer people that are available to go to work, especially in some job categories. So right now, you might start to see an uptick in the ability of people to hire at the low end. Anyway, overall, the market liked the report, but the bonds, of course, they thought it was too hot. And so yields are up 8 basis points last time I checked. Mario Knopfel says that ICE arrests hit a record 2,200 in one day. Trump's deportation machine just shifted into high gear. ICE arresting 2,200 illegal migrants on Tuesday, a 37% jump from last week's 1,600 average per day. So let's say that it goes to 2,000 a day, 2,000 a day times 365 days, you've got 800,000 for the year. So we could be looking at 700,000 people. If they keep up these numbers, could be 700,000 people going home. That is going to have an impact on the jobs market. And on housing. There's no way it can't. This is it's a big number. All right. So where are markets now? Tesla is hanging in there right about exactly at 300. It's been higher than that. It was up around 310 this morning. It was down in the 290s. But it's up 5.6% at this time, $300.64. The Dow, which was also higher earlier, is up 0.92%. NASDAQ up 1.22%. And the S&P is 5,998 and has been over 6,000 a few times this morning, up about 1%. Now, here's the key. It is now 2% to go to all-time high. I think that's important to keep in mind, all right? You've got the Magnificent Seven all up, although Apple is trending badly down after being up strongly, is trending down. NVIDIA is up 1.54. You've got the Cathie Woods all up, 100% up, all looking very strong this morning, even in the face of the bond market. Okay, let's take a look at the bond market. Speaking of bonds, here we go. We've got the 10-year up 9.3 now, 9.3 to 4.488. I don't know what to say. Oil prices up $1.29 to 64.67. That is not good. Yeah, Brent about the same. Natural gas up 0.52 at $3.69. That's about normal for them. Gold down this morning, down 1960 at 33.55. Silver continuing up another 42 cents, another 1.17%. $36.22. I read a couple of articles about the silver market. They have no idea. I mean, maybe I need to read more articles, but they were basically, yeah, it's up, all-time high, except for the odd situation about 13, 14 years ago. I think that number's around 38. So we're even closing in on that. Copper down this morning, not 0.94% to 488. Dollar mixed. Bitcoin back up again, 3,000, 105,000 right now. And that's it. Those are the numbers this morning. Again, let me encourage you, stay tuned all weekend. Larry Goldberg tonight. We'll go over today's action. We'll go over Larry's thinking about what happened with the Trump and Musk situation. We will go over Larry's thinking about where he thinks we are with regard to the robotaxi rollout, etc. Then right after that, you got 𝐼RM Basher. 𝐼RM Basher and I recorded this 2 days ago, so I know what he's going to talk about. And it's, as always, it's a ton of fun. So you got to see that tonight around 7:45. Tomorrow morning, and that 𝐼RM Basher might be on tomorrow morning if I feel that I have something more important to talk to you about tonight. We got Brian Wong on vacation now, and so it's pretty unlikely we got Brian anytime this weekend. Hopefully he comes home soon. I'm going to miss Brian. Anyway, and then Larry Goldberg tomorrow talking about this, the Cathie Wood report, which I can't hardly wait to hear what Cathie Wood has to say. And then any other time this weekend that I can slot it in, I'm going to be talking about the Elon Musk Trump bromance trouble, the trouble in Bromanceville, and what I think that means for the stock, what it means for the country, what I think, and of course we'll be having updates. Who knows? Maybe by the time I update on Sunday night, these boys will shake hands and continue the good fight. All right, that's all I got for you right now. It has been great talking to you.